Hey, this is Captain Banzai. Today I'm going to do a quick video about autofocus settings on the M50. My previous video where I went out in super cold weather, gloves are always an issue with touch screens. I do have some gloves with the touch capability. I didn't actually have these with me. And they're still pretty thin. It was very, very cold. But with the M50, you can use the touch screen, but you can also use the buttons as a dedicated button, which will go all over in this video. Let's get started. Alright, first off, let's look at the buttons to adjust focus point and all the focus settings. First, you have the set Q button right in the middle of this D-pad area to select the main autofocus mode. Usually it's set to the automatic tracking mode. It doesn't let you adjust where it focuses. It basically picks where the camera focuses. Then we have zone AF and single point. Let's just start with the single point. So we're in there, we have one single point to focus on. See, it's not going to work. I actually did focus a little bit, but to adjust where that is, you have to push this button on the side. So this button right here gets you into the focus settings. You have a few different options with the buttons. You can use the menu button to change the size. You can also use the info button to recenter. But you use the D-pad area to adjust the position. At that point, you can just hold the button down and focus. But you can also hold this button down to recenter if you want. Press it one more time to get into the mode again. You can also recenter with the info button. So let's go into the larger focus mode. Let's move it around. You can use the main dial on the top of the camera to zoom in. You can move it around with the D-pad. And then you half press the shutter to focus in that area. For a spot that can focus. So that's pretty good. Then you press this again to exit out of that. That's pretty much it for focus. Gives you all the main focus controls with buttons, which is very helpful with gloves and situations like that where you can't use a touch screen. So with the touch screen itself, it's extremely simple. You just tap on the screen to focus where you want. You can also go back into here and change the size of the focus point by tapping on here. You can also recenter like that. Pretty much the same setup for the most part. You can also zoom in with this little icon there. You can scroll with your finger in this case. Gives you a lot of options, ways to control the camera. Of course, to exit out, you can actually exit out with the touchscreen here as well. So pretty much every setting, every way to adjust focus can be done with buttons or be done with the touchscreen. Do a combination, really doesn't matter. As far as I can tell, on the M100 you can't set up any type of button configuration to move the focus point. On here you have to use a touchscreen, though there is a sensitivity setting on both cameras for the touchscreen you can adjust. With the right gloves that would definitely be fine, but again with the M100 probably not. Alright, another thing you can do, it's maybe not super useful, but you can do it is you go into the menu and you have your My Menu area. You can add different settings to this area, so let's make a tab. So we have a free tab that we can add items to. Let's go in here. You can do this with the D-pad, of course, as well. So let's select items to register. And you have to find in the list whatever you want to put in there. So AF method is a good one. Just go in there, add it. Let's go back to the menu. Go back one more, you can see it's in here now. So that gives you a quick way to adjust this without using the Q menu. You can basically do whatever you want there, add different items, sort them, and all that. Now, I wouldn't say it's extremely useful, but it is there, and it gives you more options to change settings with the buttons or the touchscreen. So in that case, you just go into menu and then you got it right there. So it's actually about the same, really, but Let's look at Zone AF. This is basically the same as the single point. Gives you all the different settings, just a little quicker because it's using a larger area to focus. So in that case, boom, picks a whole different area to focus on. Do the same things like recentering, moving it around, or holding the button down to recenter. Zoom in as usual. Then focus, a little different that time. Still picks whatever area it decides to. That was a quick look at the autofocus settings with the M50, both with touch and the buttons. I do think the buttons work alright, but they are slower than the touchscreen in most situations. If you have the right gloves, you can use the touchscreen in cold conditions and such, but if you don't, buttons are pretty sufficient. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm Scott from Banzai. If you did enjoy the video, please consider subscribing. Helps me out a lot. Likes and shares help out a lot as well. Thanks again.